Welcome back, everybody. Back here on the Sky Factory. See, last time we got our capacitor built here. We got our jetpack finished, and we were talking about upgrading this thing, which I've got ahead and done. So we're working on Tier 3 jetpack now, which is way cooler. You can see it goes up faster, and the hover is significantly slower, so that's good. I also went ahead and armored it, which first things first, you make the tier 1, so just a little bit of silicone and iron. Tier 2, 10 conductive iron with the first tier, and then the third tier is 10 electrical steel into the second tier. Gives us tier 3. Then you just craft that together with the jetpack in a crafting table. So that'll give us some armor. Speaking of, I went ahead and made another. I made a helmet here out of black quartz. I could have done it out of diamond. It's pretty much about the same. Doesn't have the toughness, but it still has the 3+3 armor, which is good enough for us to start with. So yeah, that's where we kind of left off. I also went ahead. I had to make a bunch of capacitors to get to this jetpack. So while I was doing that, I went ahead and made a couple of these octadic capacitors. I spelled this right. Here we go. Which is just double layer, which is 2 of these and some of this stuff. Get you to double layer, and then 2 of those, some glowstone, and this vibrant alloy is the conductive. Is it conductive? Energetic alloy. 2 of those into just one. Right. One of those into the alloy smelter with an ender pearl gives you the vibrant. So what I did is I went ahead and made a couple of octadic capacitors and put them into these machines here to speed these things up quite dramatically, as you can see. If I take it out, it's not slow, but it's not obviously not this fast. And you can also see the power drain that it uses quite a bit more power, but that's fine because we got that right. Thanks to our little nuclear reactor, we've got plenty of power, at least for right now. So yeah, that's where we left off. So let's get into this. Right. So the next thing I want to get into is this wireless charger. And basically, as long as you're within range of this thing, it'll charge up anything in your inventory that has RF capacity. So we need some electrical steel, another octadic capacitor, and this ender resonator, which requires the slice and splice. It's hard to say. This thing. Which needs this solarium, which is soul sand and gold. So I went ahead and made most of this stuff. I've got some of the solarium. I've got the octadic capacitor. Yeah, I've got some electrical steel here too. So I think we should be close to. All we need to do is make this guy. In order to make this guy, of course, we need to make this machine, which takes any kind of monster skull, an iron axe, iron shears, and a machine chassis. So let me see, I've got some iron. Let me just make some sticks here. Go ahead and make the iron axe. Wait a minute, that's like this, I think. Yeah, this thing, one of these. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make 2 because I'm going to need them to put in that machine for it to operate as well. So just go ahead and do 2 of those. And 1 more of these. That should be pretty close. Need to go grab a monster head out of our little chest over there. With some solarium that I have already. Let's I don't know why I'm walking. Walking's for noobs. So let's just grab this creeper head will work. That's plenty fine. Yeah, you can also like sprint, do the sprint action while you're in the air to move a little bit quicker. So let's pull up this guy. Yeah, okay, make sure I was in the crafting table there. Not that. No. This thing. There we go. So we should be good to make that. Just like so. And we can hook this up. Looks like I'm about to have to expand my platform here. Make some room for all these cool toys. Where are my energy conduit? Grab that. I guess for right now, what I'll do, I don't want to use that in case it needs to be in full repair in order to work in the machine. So let me just break this. Slap this dude in here. Pop this on top. Pop the top, yo. Go ahead and put these in. Right, so now what we need to do, this is the slice and splice machine. It accepts any kind of shear and axe, doesn't matter what quality it is. So we need 2 more pieces of solarium, a vibrant alloy, a couple silicon, and enderman head to make this ender resonator. I've got silicon, I've got this thing, I've got a couple of these. So I think all we need is this enderman head, which I happen to have a few of. There we go. Let's get this popped in here and let it start doing its thing. These guys, 2 of those, 1 of these. And there we go. So here in just a minute we should have that. Once we have that, I already have the capacitor and the steel for that. We can make this wireless charger. Then we're in business. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is pick this up. Actually, I can leave that there. I was going to move it and put it like underneath, attached to the cable somewhere, but I can do just the same with this wireless. Like I said, it's got a range to it, but you know, it's going to be well enough to cover our main area here for sure. So I can just hook this up pretty much anywhere on this conduit, just like that. And so now you can see the my fuel. I'm actually going up in fuel as I'm using it, so that's good. So now as long as we're somewhere pretty much in this general area, it'll be charging up our machines and also our ring here. So cool. Now what I want to do, I want to jump back down here and get back to the nether and go to work with this shirk and get up some levels on it, so I can start adding some more stats, damage and stuff. Mainly beheading. The reason for that is, let's head over here towards this fortress. The reason for that is I want to start collecting wither skeleton skulls. With those we can start to summon withers and collect the nether stars, which is going to be pretty important for a bunch of things that we're going to want to do here in the future. So we're just going to zoom around here, try not to get hit with too many fireballs, and just rack up some kills. Depending on how long this takes, I might actually just fast forward this part a little bit. There's 1 level, that's enough to get beheading. I also want to start boosting the just the overall damage output. There's 2 ways to do that. You can change the parts out for better, higher damage parts, and you can also just directly add nether quartz to this thing, and that'll just increase the base damage of it. Oh, I also would like to try to gather. Did I bring food? Okay, yeah. I'd also like to try to gather. Set this down here so I can see how many I'm collecting. Some of these blaze rods, maybe a dozen or so. I'm gonna need a few of them to make the seeds once I get to that point in the mystical agriculture, which is quickly starting to get onto the top of the list here. And a couple other things that just need blaze rods specifically. There was one thing in particular I was thinking of a couple episodes ago. Can't remember right off the top of my head, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. So yeah, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna fly around here and wreck some noobs for a minute. Get a couple levels on this weapon here. Eat some food so I can regen this health I'm losing. And just keeping an eye on our fuel situation in the jetpack. Don't want to run out of that before I can get back to at least back to the portal. Oh, compressed skeleton. This place is littered with these shurikens. That's something else too. Using those things just willy-nilly like that, it does drain your hunger pretty quick. Of course, once we get the damage up on it a little bit, this process will speed up a little bit faster too. Obviously. Okay, 2 levels is probably good for now. Oh, check this out. The skeleton shot an arrow into this cloud. Sulfur cloud. That's kind of cool. Let's just pop back in here. Run over to our little tool station, grab some nether quartz. That was something else I did in the in between time. I went ahead and sifted up a bunch of soul sand. It really didn't take a whole lot with that enchanted mesh. Maybe half of what I have here I had compressed. Maybe, like I said, maybe 48, 50-ish. I did about half of it and got stacks and stacks of the stuff. Made up a bunch of quartz-enriched iron in preparation for the refined storage, just to go ahead and have that stuff ready to go. So here we go. This is what I'm looking for. I got all these drops from these monsters out there. Let's just trash some of this stuff we don't want. Can't believe I only got 2 blaze rods out of all that. Throw those away. These. That's good enough. Just want to make a bit of room. Toss this guy in here. This thing. And you can see the put 64 in. It's showing 64 out of 72. 72 is 1 level's worth of the sharpness. You can go, I think, 5 levels. But if you only have, say you only had 32, you could still put it in there and apply it. It only counts as one modifier per level, so it'll allow you to fill that up. You don't have to do it all at once. And it's prorated as far as how much attack it adds. I'm just going to throw a couple stacks on there. And let me grab enough to just finish up the 2nd level. I think that's all the modifiers I have for this thing. somewhere it shows. Yeah, modifier is 1. So if I do that, yeah, the modifiers went away. And it tells you right here if you try to add something else to it. So cool. You can also see the texture kind of changes a little bit depending on what you add to it. Cool. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in here, run back to the nether, and just do the same process a little bit more. I'm still trying to get these blaze rods, so this may be another fast forward potentially. Oh, and there we go. One more level. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the beheading to this. So next time we come back in here, we can, or at least when we need to, we can start collecting some wither skeleton skulls. Cool deal. And I need a piece of obsidian. Grab one of those. I gotta clear this inventory out. Just throw these in here. Get rid of some more of this stuff. Zombie flesh. Whatever, just throw all this crap in here. Don't need it. So that's weird. I wonder why I get some skulls and not others. I don't know if that's a vanilla thing or what. I do want to keep one of those out because I've got a... That's actually kind of ironic that it's raining right now, because the next thing I want to do, since I have a blaze rod, is make one of these rain... what's this called? Rain shield. Piece of flint, some netherrack, which I made up a couple pieces. It's just redstone and soul sand in a barrel. Yeah, lava and redstone. That's what it is. Lava and redstone makes netherrack. Yeah. So what's that gonna? What that's gonna do for us is keep it from raining on our heads. Number one, it kills my frame rates, and also kind of makes the... Where's my flint? I know I've got some flint around here. There we go. One piece of that, right? Yep. There we go. It just makes the video look crappy with all the rain. I'm just gonna put this guy like... Can I put it on top of here? No. Gay. There we go. And you can see that, whenever the particle effects are running like that, it means it's raining. You can't see it till you get too far away out of the range of that thing. Then all you gotta do, if your base expands to that point, is just put another one down. But it's got a pretty good range on it. That also prevents lightning, which I'd never really noticed before, maybe because I just have usually had those rain shields up pretty quick. You can get them out of some of the loot bags too. which is how you can get them early, kind of early off. But yeah, I guess it's a vanilla thing. I just never had ran into. But if the lightning strikes, there's a chance that a skeleton horse will show up, and then if that thing gets hit by lightning, it has the chance to like spawn in 4 horsemen of the apocalypse skeletons, which are all armored. They're riding horses. It happened to me like 3 times real fast in a row my last playthrough. Oh look, we got a zombie hanging out in the portal. What's up, guy? So yeah, I like to keep it. Just, I don't know if it's just because there's nothing else around. The lightning just has a you know, the chance that it has because there's just so much nothingness around. It raises that chance or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, it sucked and I didn't like it. So I like to not have that happen. See, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so here we go. Let's check out the old list here. So we've been to the nether portal. We got blaze rods. Beheading. I can do that real quick. Got a piece of obsidian and an ender pearl is the parts that you need for the beheading. There you go. See it right there. It adds that little blue dot looking thing. So boom, that's done. Check that off. Refined storage or mystical agriculture. I think I'm going to go for refined storage first because that's going to help us have less of a headache with crafting the stuff for the mystical agriculture. So I think that's what I'm going to go for first. Like I said, I went ahead and got kind of a head start on the quartz and stuff. But I think what I'm actually going to do, we can just look at it again real quick. I know we've looked at it before, but let's do one of these. I think I'm just going to make the stuff kind of like I did with the reactor. Go ahead and make the stuff ahead of time, and then just kind of show how it all goes together. Because there's a bunch of stuff I got to do. Got to make all these processors, which can be a chore. To make the grid is basically your interface. The controller is the brains of the operation. Crafting grid is the same as the grid, but it also has a crafting table in it, which we're going to want pretty soon. Pattern grid, fluid grid, all this crafting monitor. That's for like automated crafting stuff, which is cool. Disk drives and this and that. These these solderers take sticky pistons, so we're gonna need some more slime balls. Luckily, we have some rice growing because we were thinking about that, right? It's got its own cabling system which carries items and power, which is cool. So once you power the grid or the controller, you can, as long as the machines are touching the controller, it's somehow like connected. The machines can be, you know, daisy chained. But if you need to remote access somewhere or put up a new monitor somewhere, whatever the case is, you just run this cable and it carries the power and everything that it needs. So that's cool. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do a bunch of this stuff like off screen, just get it ready to set up and then show everybody how it works. This mod is super in depth and I've maybe got about 3/4 of the way into it, so there's still some things that I'm not 100% sure on how it works too. And I'm certainly not like, I'll just do this, and it's hooked up. So anyway, that'll be for next time. I should have that stuff at least somewhat set up and ready to go, where we can hook it up, and I'll kind of try to explain to you the best I'm able on how it all works together. So on that note, I hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll see you later. Take it easy, people.